Okay, welcome everyone to another Unicity product training, and thank you for joining us today. Today is going to be a very critical product training because it is one of our most important products with Unicity. It's one of our flagship products, and it's a product that you should all be very, very aware of and knowledgeable of. It's there are a few different products that Wendell will talk to us about today, but the general idea is that fiber is an incredibly important part of our system, of our sales structure, and of what we are trying to do with Unicity. It plays a vital role in your business and as well as your diet. So Winda will talk to us all about how our Unicity fiber products, the fiber matrix products that we offer, are different from those of the ones that you'll find on the store shelves, the ones that you'll find for discounts, the ones that you'll find online. She will talk to us about the differences there and why we choose to use such a quality product for our fiber products. So without further ado, I'll hand the time over to Winda to talk more about our fiber matrix.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mike. So I'm going to directly share my screen now. Okay. See. Yep, it works. Now that we will talk more about fibers. So why fibers? Fiber is actually a very important part of nutrients in our daily diets. With fibers, it will give us lots of benefits, but sometimes, and most often times, we forget about these fiber roles in our body. And I think many of us doesn't understand and doesn't eat a lot of fiber sources food.
No cerita nih.
If you are not the presenter and you are off mute, I'll ask you just to reach up on your computer and put yourself on mute. Thank you.
And you can always type on the chat side about any questions that you would like to ask. So what are the roles of dietary fibers? Dietary fibers is different from the fibers that we will talk about, this kind of unique mix of fibers from Unicity. Dietary fibers is the amount of fibers that you could get from eating different kinds of plant sources food. It is often mainly found in products like fruits, vegetables, grains, seeds, legumes, and these types of fibers are good for your bowel movement. If you have difficulty with regular bowel movement, so consider taking more fiber food every day. And it also possesses some other benefits with our health. For example, with the healthy body weight and CVD, cardiovascular disease, your heart disease, and diabetes. And most importantly, the role of fibers in natural is actually, it is good for your gut. Once the fiber is going into your system, from the gastric into your intestines, it will help to grow some good bacteria because fibers, we call them as prebiotics. This is the food source of the good bacteria in your gut. We call this bacteria as microbiome. I'm sure that lots of you who have joined the Unicity trainings have heard so much about microbiomes. Microbiome became really important. It is an emerging research about the microbiomes that actually affect about 70 to 80% of our immune system. If you have good, healthy metabolism, if you have good, healthy immune system, it is 80% chance that you have a healthy gut from your digestion system, from the foods that you are eating, from the supplements that you are taking. This affects the microflora, the microbiome in your healthy gut. So what is the recommendation for us to take every day? How much fiber we should eat? This amount I show you here is not the amount of fruit or vegetables that you should eat every day. Fiber here means the nutrients itself once it's already been digested. So with this amount, around 30 grams a day, men and women, 20 to 30 grams a day, it means that you have to take around 400 grams of fruits, vegetables, any kinds of plant sources food that contains fibers. But sometimes it is not always ideal weight. It is not always ideal diet for us every day. We don't have lots of plant sources food that contains fiber. And these fibers isn't very various, isn't very much containing all the needed fiber for our microbiomes. So imagine that probably have any of you consume regularly around 400 to 500 grams of food, plant source food every day. For me myself, to prepare this food about half a kg of fruits or vegetable, it might be too much. And I won't be able to take up all of this stuff into my body because I have another macronutrients to fit in, like the macronutrients from the carbohydrate sources food, from the protein sources food, and lots of other foods. So it is good that we could top up this fiber intake, and it is good that we have more fiber sources food because usually fiber is low in calorie. It helps us to feel full longer. So here's, I want to show you different kinds of fibers. In general, fiber is divided into two types, the insoluble fiber and the soluble fiber. The insoluble ones are the ones that doesn't dissolve in water. So when it goes into the gastric, it will pass through the intestine. It won't be digested by our digestion enzymes, but the microbiomes inside the intestine, inside our gut, will use this insoluble fiber as their food sources. And this one will be fermented, will be used by this bacteria for different kinds of chemical reactions, for fermentations, for example, and this good bacteria provides different kinds of nutrients for our body. For example, biotin, vitamin K, short chain fatty acid that are good for our cardiovascular health. So this is the role of insoluble fiber by our microbiome. And it is good also with people who have difficulty with the regular bowel movement. This insoluble fiber can be found in lots of plant food sources, mostly seeds and grains. Next is the type we call as soluble fiber. This soluble fiber loves water. This water will form a gel that helps us to bulk the stool and easing defecation. So we will have better and regular bowel movement and better gut lining because this gel will absorb and bind with some of the waste inside our gut and take it out from our system. It also have other benefits such as the lowering activity of blood cholesterol and helping with controlling glucose level in your bloodstream. Soluble fibers can be found in lots of plant food and fruits, and some grains as well, such as psyllium, barley, and these are very good sources of soluble fibers. You can copy this, you can keep this. If you have a daily intake of dietary fiber, then these are the types of food that are good with soluble and insoluble fibers. It is best to have different different kinds of food with plant sources food from different kinds of plants, because different kinds of food provide different types of fibers. So what is the difference if I take the fiber supplement from Unicity? What makes this more special than the regular food that I have? That might become a question, because many people still think that Unicity have fiber supplement, such as the BioSlife C, Bio7, BioSlife Slim, call it as just fiber supplements. But this is different. This is the super fiber. It's not just any kinds of fiber. And these fibers is different from the one that you will have in the supermarket shelves or in a pharmacy, or probably the dietary fibers that you eat every day. So these super fiber actually provide extra benefits. The benefits could be various. We have this kind of fiber-based supplements in Unicity, many kinds, and they provide different kinds of benefits. Some products provide benefits such as controlling your blood glucose level. It's been shown by the research. It is tangible, it is measurable, and it actually gives you a real results. This one here shows that people who take BioSlife product, BioSlife Slim, having a better glucose spike, glucose control, and insulin response compared with those who doesn't have the BioSlife fiber in their system. So the red dots, the red lines here is the people who take glucose drinks without having any dose of BioSlife. But the green there, the green line shows that people who are eating something containing glucose and having double dose of BioSlife product, they have better spike of insulin, and they can maintain their blood glucose levels better for longer time. It means that they will feel full longer. Other benefits that this Unicity super fiber can give you is, for example, lowering the amount of LDL cholesterol. Some people who takes BioSlife for 6 weeks actually shown a significant reduction in their LDL cholesterol level, comparing to the ones who doesn't have any BioSlife products in their daily diets. So you can see between the green and the red ones. The green ones are the amount of the participants who have taken BioSlife products for 6 weeks. And the red ones, they don't take any BioSlife products. It shows that more people have lowered their LDL level cholesterol when they take BioSlife regularly. And this is the product that we are talking about. The super fiber that is different, that is unique from your regular dietary fiber, or from the other kinds of fiber drinks. It is not just a fiber drink. It helps to lower your cholesterol, lower the LDL, lower the triglyceride, lower your increase your HDL, and lower your blood glucose. Miss typo here. So these fiber supplements is actually providing proof, providing evidence, not just claiming that it could lower your cholesterol, it could lower your LDL. So you need to be more confident with, have you tried this product? If you try this product, then you'll know and you'll fit it yourself that this product is actually work. The cholesterol is the thing that we need for our body. We don't have to be afraid with the cholesterols, because this cholesterol is produced by itself, by our liver. Cholesterol is used with different metabolism in our body, for example, with producing hormones. And we will need this cholesterol in some amount. But most of the time, we have more cholesterol than we need in our body. And that will become a problem when we have too much, especially we have too much the LDL. And we want more HDL cholesterol in our system than the LDL cholesterol, because HDL is better. It is used to take up cholesterol and store it in our body, and especially store it in our liver, so it won't go too much in our bloodstream. When there are too much cholesterols in our bloodstream, our blood vessel will become easily clogged, and it will cause a disease. We call them as atherosclerosis. So that's why we want a balanced ratio between the HDL and LDL cholesterol, and we don't want to have too much cholesterol in our bloodstream. With this Best Flexi product, this is a super fiber product because it doesn't only provide you with fiber, but it provides you with other things too. For example, with polycosanol, which helps to reduce the production of cholesterol from your liver. It contains some phytosterols. These sterols actually help with balancing the cholesterol amount. It's reducing the cholesterol amount in your system. Some flower extract, B vitamins, it helps with increasing the blood flow. It helps with burning more energy from your fat supply in the body. So this is not just a regular product. It is not just a fiber drink, but it is a fiber drink that actually gives results. Results that you can measure, results that you can see yourself, you can feel yourself, and you can check it yourself through your blood. Usually, I would suggest people to have blood checks every 6 months. BioSlice works with 4 different kinds of actions. The first thing, it will absorb, it will bind with the fat that comes from your food. And there are role of polycosanol and phytosterols that inhibit the liver cholesterol synthesis. So there will be less and less cholesterol in your bloodstream. And this cholesterol will not be used, but it will be taken out from our body. And it will lead to more production of bile acids. While bile acids production needs cholesterol. So when your body doesn't have enough bile acid to digest fat, and you eat something fatty, this liver will help with using cholesterol to produce more bile acids. And that's why more and more cholesterol supply in your body become less and it goes out from the system. When it is too much, it is best to control it through the diet itself, through what you eat, and through the use of supplements such as BioSlife-C. Or another thing I want to show you, as I said that this is a super fiber product, that is just not a regular fiber, so you can measure, you can actually see the numbers, what result it gives you. And this is a recent study results from Indonesia that we use BioSlife-C product only for 4 weeks in people who have hypercholesterolemia. And the results is already very good. People who are on the borderline or really exceed their normal cholesterol level, they show improvement by around 10% reduction of total cholesterol in their body. So this is a tangible result that you can get when you take BioSlife-C. Another thing is the another thing is the product that is similar with BioSlife-C. We call it as BIOS7. It is still in the BioSlife family. This is also a great fiber supplements for you. This claims is actually also tangible and measurable. You can have this BIOS7 different, a little bit different from the BioSlim or BioC, because BIOS7 contains also prebiotics. It helps with the lowering blood glucose and improving the microbiomes from its prebiotics. And what happens when you take this BIOS7? When you have food, sugary food, there will be more sugar in your bloodstream. This high sugar content in the bloodstream will signal the pancreas to produce insulin. And when insulin is produced, the glucose will be taken up from the bloodstream and stored into your liver. And too much sugar is stored into the liver in the form of fat. Again, we don't want too much fat in our body. So we need to control the amount of sugar and the amount of fat that goes into our body. But sometimes this mechanism doesn't work for some people. People who have a pre-diabetic syndrome or people who have diabetes, they won't be able to use the pancreas and liver system properly. There won't be enough production of insulin or so much less insulin control. So too much sugar in the bloodstream is not good. With BIOS7, when you have something sugary, but you take BIOS7 before you eat, what happens is the sugar content will bind with the fiber matrix from BIOS7. When the sugar is bind with BIOS7, bad bacteria will not be able to use this in the body. So they will starve and they won't be able to grow. Instead, they will die. And once the fiber matrix is digested, it will leave some kinds of soluble and insoluble fibers in your system. And this fiber is the food for the good bacteria in your body. This bacteria can use the fibers from BIOS7 as their source of food, and they will take it out from the intestines in our gut so that they can grow more and better and help with the lining of our guts, helps with the production of nutrients and digestion of some different kinds of foods that we eat. So it is easily absorbable. The nutrients can be used more effectively by our body. And this is the results that you can get when you take Bio7. It's a super fiber that gives you a good results. For example, your fasting blood glucose, for some people, it could reduce about 11%, almost 10% of HbA1c reduction, and 10% of total cholesterol decrease, as well as the LDL cholesterol and VLDL cholesterol. Improve of HDL and LDL ratio as well. And these results is what you can offer when people having different metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndromes are a lot. For example, the most common one are the hypercholesterol, heart disease, diabetes. So this metabolic syndrome can be helped, or can be, we don't say it's cured, but we will say it's controlled up to its normal level with taking proper meal, proper diet, and taking proper supplement. The right supplement will give you the right results. Other benefits that Bio7 can give you is that it increases the biodiversity of the microbiomes who lives in, that lives inside your body. So when you take Bio7 regularly for at least 6 weeks to 12 weeks, it will gradually increase the diversity of the microbiome from your inside your gut. Another thing about fibers of Unicity. This is another super fiber that helps you with many things. This is not just a regular fiber. It gives you some prebiotics. It helps with your digestion. It helps with your metabolic syndromes, helps with your diabetes, helps with your cardiovascular disease, and also it gives things that we can measure as well. Lifiber. It is part of a clear start, but you can take it daily. Psyllium husk fiber. Why I talk about this? This psyllium husk fiber is the kind of fiber that loves water, so it is a part of soluble fibers, and it makes up most of the Lifiber inside Lifiber products. There are many research that has been proven psyllium husk fiber is good for the treatment of many health concerns. For example, constipation and diarrhea. And another thing, again, it has the lipid and glucose lowering effects. Some research also already proved that psyllium, taking them regularly, can lower the total blood cholesterol and LDL cholesterol and enhance the HDL cholesterol. So these are just a few from huge amount of research for the psyllium husk fiber. Another thing special with this Lifiber, it contains material called fructooligosaccharides or FOS. The fructooligosaccharides has been significantly proven increasing the amount of microbiomes inside our body. And it helps also with lowering the cholesterol level in our body. What's more special with this Lifiber? It is a mix of different kinds of herbs. 29 herbs in one pack. So just 29 herbs in one scoop, you get all the benefits or soluble and insoluble fibers and other nutrients too. So with this Lifiber, when you take a scoop daily in the morning, you already get some of these necessary types of fibers that could be digested by your microbiomes. And it helps provide the food source for your good bacteria. We call them as prebiotics. And remember, 70 to 80% good healthy immune system comes from good healthy gut. Other special ingredients that are in Lifiber, it also contains guar gum powder. Guar gum is proven to be more effective to lower the cholesterol level in your body compared with other types of gum or fiber source food such as oat. And other stuff here in Lifiber helps with better digestion, with increasing the gut lining. So when you have better gut lining, you will have smaller chance that bad bacteria could infect your gut and causing different kinds of disease such as ulcer, diverticulitis, or probably the worst part is cancer. Lifiber is a versatile product. You can combine them with every other kinds of product from Unicity. You can take them regularly every day and you can mix them whatever you want. So with a good recipe for breakfast, for example, you can mix Lifiber with algae and add some probiotics and Hawaiian health supplements or Hawaiian Noni. Or you can mix Lifiber with BioSlife Slim and BioSlife E. You can go any way you want it. So this is a very versatile product. You can add with your smoothies. You can add with your breakfast oats. So this is a good fiber sources for insoluble and soluble fibers. And remember, this is not just a fiber. This is a super fiber that will give you results, will give you better health, and give extra benefits. It's not just a regular fiber, but it is a fiber with benefits. So So that's all. If you have any questions, I will check the chat and comments here. I think some of you give me some questions already. Okay, interesting. Nice. Can diabetes type A be able to take BioSlife products? Definitely. But usually, diabetes type 1, you mean, yeah? Type 1 is the type of diabetes that people have once they are born. So people can still have BioSlife products. And these BioSlife products, you must be taken with caution. When people having no insulin, they will take some insulin pills before they eat. Usually it happens that way. And what you need is to give some time before you take the BioSlife products. I would suggest people with the type 1 diabetes take the BioSlife after they finish eating. And they should measure the blood glucose regularly before and after they eat. If you see that taking insulin pills and also taking BioSlife could lower their blood glucose very extremely, then you need to adjust the amount of insulin you take. You can also lower the amount of insulin you take because the sugar will bind with the BioSlife fibers, and if it's too much insulin in your body, you will have extremely low blood glucose, and it is not good. So you need to adjust the amount of insulin when you take these Unicity fiber products. People who is suffering from repeated yeast infection can consume Bio7. Yes, there are different kinds of yeast infections. You should check with the doctor. Most often, women will have repeated yeast infections such as candidiasis. If you have more prebiotic products, it is very good. If you are able to have probionic in your country, or you can get the probionic, I will suggest to take double dose of probionic with your diet every day. And you can take Bio 7 just before your meal. It is more important for people who have yeast infection to have a better probiotic in their system. Since BioSlave C Plus has fiber matrix, it will also increase the biodiversity of the gut microbiome too. Except for not having yeast in the BioSlave C Plus, how different is the impact to Bio 7? Some of these microbiomes you can also get from your daily dietary products, means that things that you eat every day. With the if you have BioSlive C Plus, or you cannot get Bio 7 in your country, it doesn't matter. You still will be able to get all these needed prebiotic sources from your food. And you can also take the probionic products to increase the amount of prebiotic and probiotic in your system, in your gut. So it will be fine to have one of this type. If you have Bio 7 only or Bio C only, it's fine. BioSlive C, sorry, not Bio C. Okay, when I show you the results about Bio 7, it is not reducing HDL, but it is actually improving the HDL. The graph I showed you before, it shows that Bio 7 reduced the LDL and VLDL while improving the ratio of HDL with LDL. So it is not reducing HDL. And what we want in our system is we have higher HDL level and lower LDL level, but we still have a balanced amount for the ratio of this both. And for kids below 6 years old who have constipation, what fiber product that you recommend? Kids from 2 years old can already take Unicity supplement, but the dose is half from the adults. And for 6 years old, when I would recommend to take Lifiber half scoop only. So give your kids half scoop of Lifiber every day in the morning. If your kids still have different difficulty, still have the constipation or difficulty with the bowel movement, you can help to soften the stool using aloe vera. So give aloe vera half. Just take out the powder from the capsule, mix it with the fruit juice, and let your kids drink it. So aloe vera will help soften the stool, and Lifiber will help to bulk the stool so it will easily come out. And don't forget, when you give Lifiber and other fiber source, drink more water. From with 6-year-old kid, I think your kid will need around 1.5 liters of water at least a day. Looking at the glucose spike chart conducted by UCIT, today I read dose 1, 20% reduction, and dose 2, 28% reduction. But the result from the previous similar chart. Oh, okay. I will verify the results, but it shows that the graph doesn't change. I still have this graph. I used this graph for a long time already. So I think the value won't be much different, but I will double check with the graph. Anyone who has cholesterol issue and no glucose issue yet, is it still good to consume Bio7 instead of choosing Bio/C? Definitely. Bio7 contains ingredients that are similar to Bio/C, but with addition of prebiotic. When you take Bio7, you will also get the benefits as when you take Bio/C with the extra prebiotics. So you can take Bio7. To mix various products as our normal shake, including collagen, is it perfectly all right and effective? Definitely. Everything that mixed in one, let's say when you make a shake, you can drink them and it will be digested over time. So it won't be wasted, don't worry, but it will be released slowly in your body. So this, when you mix, let's say collagen, usually people take collagen before they sleep because skin cell regeneration happens when we sleep, and other kinds of cell regeneration happens when we sleep. So I would recommend that you take the collagen supplements before you sleep and mix the Lifiber or LC or anything else during your breakfast time. It is still good.
Okay, I think that's all the questions, unless you can see any other ones. Thank you for fielding those, Winda.
Thank you.
And very, very informative presentation. We thank you very much. If you notice the Bio/C study, where we saw the placebo and the Bio/C, I just wanted to call back to this since I presented on something similar a couple weeks ago. If you noticed, after 6 weeks, nothing happened. Virtually nothing happened after 6 weeks. But after 10 weeks, a lot happened. After 10 weeks, their LDL went down dramatically. So that's the hump again that we were talking about a couple weeks back, right? So if you think that you're wasting your time or wasting your money by drinking Bio7 or another fiber product, after 6 weeks, hang in there, keep going, because it truly is a super fiber that can really deliver results. The power behind these products is massive. And let's not forget that this super fiber works to lower one of the highest causes of death in the world, cardiovascular disease. So keep that in mind. You may remember these products were referred to in a different presentation long ago as health insurance, and that's precisely what they are. So thank you, Winda, for your presentation and for such excellent and simple explanations of complex ideas. Thank you so much.
And another question.
Oh, there's another question. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you are pregnant and you want to take Bios5 product, you can have them once a day, just before your biggest meal. Bios will be good. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Simple answer. Thank you so much. Well, thank you everyone again for joining us. Thank Winda for another awesome presentation. Next week, I will be presenting on how to use pain for gain. And amidst that conversation, we'll be talking about the Bios Life Air. So you'll want to join in to understand a couple principles about how to use pain for your own benefit, how to use pain for gain, as well as a better understanding of the Bios Life Air and what makes that so good. So thank you everyone for joining in again today, and we hope you have a great week.